where the Prophet ﷺ was one day praying with some of his companions. And as the Prophet ﷺ said, Sami Allahu liman hamida, a man responded after coming up from the ruku', Rabbana wa lakal hamd, hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarakan fi. That to you, O Allah, belongs all praise, hamdan kathiran tayyiban mubarakan fi. Praise that is plentiful, that is pure, and that is blessed. And the Prophet ﷺ, he turned around after the salah, he said, who said that? Who was the one who said that? And the man said, it was me, Ya Rasulullah. The Prophet ﷺ said, رَأَيْتُ بِضْعَةً وَثَلَاثِينَ مَلَكًا, that I saw 30-something angels, and they were competing over that praise of yours. And he said, أَيُّهُمْ يَكْتُبُهَا أَوَّلْ, which of them would get to write it down first? Can you imagine the Prophet ﷺ was taken aback by the scene of just 30 angels coming down to write down the praise of this one man after coming up from ruku' and saying something that we say on a regular basis? Imagine then the scene of laylat al-Qadr, right? The scene of all of these angels coming down, all of the traffic of billions and billions and billions of angels that are coming down to record their ibadah, to record the worship of that night, filling up the space between the heaven and the earth to the point that there is no space in the lanes. And the writing of the decree for the year is coming down. Imagine if you could perceive and see all of that descent on that blessed night. SubhanAllah, it's an awesome thought, an awesome sight, and it is as real as the things that we see right in front of us. And so I want you to think about it from that perspective. If only you could see. And I actually want to build upon that concept with Allah Azza wa Jalla saying, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. Like, what would cause you to know what Laylat al-Qadr is? How amazing Laylat al-Qadr is? Because had Allah Azza wa Jalla not told us about Laylat al-Qadr, then how would we be able to distinguish it from any other night of the year, right? Maybe some of the righteous would perceive something on that night, but the reality is the world would go on not knowing. I mean, just think of those who aren't Muslim and how they proceed on the night of Laylat al-Qadr. They don't know. They know that the Muslims over there are fasting Ramadan, right? Some of them know that it's Ramadan right now, but they don't know the difference between Laylat al-Qadr and other nights. And so Sufyan ibn Uyayna, rahimahullah ta'ala, says that when Allah Azza wa Jalla says, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ, how would you know that? It's like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ, what would you know had Allah Azza wa Jalla not informed you of it? And what makes this so significant is that usually when Allah Azza wa Jalla uses that language, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ, وَمَا يُدْرِيكَ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking about something of great terror that you are not perceiving, something that should cause you great trepidation and fear because you're not paying attention to it, but it's right in front of you. So, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْقَارِعَةُ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْحَاقَّةُ. When Allah is talking about the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about resurrection, and Allah Azza wa Jalla is talking about these awesome things that should cause great fear and trepidation. But here, when Allah Azza wa Jalla says, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ, it's actually about the incredible reward. Like, if only you knew how amazing this night is, if only you could perceive all of the elements of this night. And that brings us to the very name itself. Why is it named Laylat al-Qadr? So there are multiple things that the scholars point out, and they're not necessarily in contradiction of one another. In fact, they are complementary to one another. So some of the scholars said that it's called the night of decree, Laylat al-Qadr, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decrees provisions, fates, and all created things in the universe during this night. And then He reveals them to the angels to abide by. So Allah Azza wa Jal calls it the night of decree, Laylat al-Qadr. And this is attributed to Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, Qatada rahimahullah, and others. Others mentioned that the name Laylat al-Qadr speaks to its high esteem, its honor, its position. And so when you say Qadr, the Qadr of something, you're talking about how awesome it is.